Can you believe that Trisha Paytas is trying to capitalize on the Ellen drama? More importantly, Tiger Woods barely made it out of his car crash alive. Yes, we'll be getting into the details of it all today, but before we start, don't forget to subscribe to get daily celeb updates. Now, we all know how Ellen has been in the news for her not-so-kind behavior, exposed by several celebs and show workers. 2021 isn't being very kind to anyone, is it? But today, we will talk about Trisha Paytas and the Ellen Show drama. Trisha Paytas, now a famous YouTuber who started her account back in 2007, appeared on The Ellen Show back in 2010 when she was only 22 years old. She was picked from the audience as a part of a talent segment to show off her speed reading talent. Since no one knew that Paytas would be one of the big names of YouTube at the time, no one paid attention to the segment or to the girl participating in it. In the now viral clip, Trisha, 22 years old, is seen very excited to meet DeGeneres. She gushed how she was a massive fan of the show and of her. In the video, she reaches out to touch her. Still, she then recoils her hand thinking that she should not touch her, that it would look inappropriate or too clingy. Afterwards, she starts to read out DeGeneres' book, My Point, and I do have one, very quickly. You'd think that's not that bad, right? It's just a moment of a fan with Ellen, as every person has, typically. Well, that was all in this clip, but Trisha talked about it just recently over a podcast that she hosts with H3's Ethan Klein. The podcast is known as Frenemies, and Trisha mentioned Ellen DeGeneres in a very negative light, calling her a B, and that how she was told not to touch her. Paytas recollected her feelings and thoughts that had occurred to her at the time and stated that in her mind, she thought that she might get recognized and become famous. She said, "My thought was that if I go on all these shows, someone will discover me. I thought Ellen was going to discover me and I was going to be like a co-host of hers. That was my thought process." But later said that clearly that meeting did not live up to her expectations. Kind of sad, but that's the dream, right? To be recognized and identified by someone who you look up to be someone. It's totally relatable. We get you, Trisha. It should be noted that Trisha's podcast came out at a time when Ellen was facing several other allegations of not being a cordial or a good host, her staff being rude and insensitive, and Ellen's extraordinarily inappropriate and derogatory behavior towards them. Paytas further stated, "When all that stuff started coming out, I was like, that makes sense because she was so awful. Literally would not talk. They tell you, don't look her in the eyes, don't touch her." It was all part of this huge background conversation about Ellen and her charges for not creating an environmentally sound working space for the staff. You guys should also know that all of this happened when Instagram was not the platform for many internet celebrities where they became famous. Now, Trisha is a famous Californian model, singer, and YouTuber. She has one studio album, 34 music videos, and 35 singles. She also has several podcasts and is currently working with YouTuber Ethan Klein on their Frenemies podcast. The tables seem to have turned for Ellen. It's about time, honestly. In other events, 45-year-old golfer Tiger Woods has been the butt of serious damage caused by a single-car rollover accident. The acclaimed golfer came to the hospital in extremely bad shape and condition and plunged into his life with multiple leg injuries all at once. The accident took place in California on Tuesday morning. Although much specification hasn't been given about the nature of the car accident, Tiger's injuries suffice for much of the details, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Tiger's car, the Genesis GV80, had crashed, and then as per reports, around 7:12 a.m., the police had gotten news of a single vehicle crash along Hawthorne Boulevard on the peninsula. Woods could not even be taken out of the car without the help of Jaws of Life in order to not cause any further damage to the sportsman. The fatal accident was just some distance away from death, but luckily Woods was saved and given proper attention on time. He entered the hospital with close-to-death sufferings. According to his representatives at the time, his condition was between moderate to critical and required all the prayers and support he could have gotten. Woods was in the Los Angeles area for the past weekend's Genesis Invitational Golf Tournament, named so for its sponsor Genesis, the nascent Korean luxury brand. The car that Woods had been driving was a promotional car accorded to him for purposes of public influence. Keeping in view the severity of the accident, any sports-filled career for the golfer now seems like a distant desire or dream. But we're still happy for him and that he still, in fact, is alive. The photos and video of the crash don't show much space for those things. Maybe this is another chance for Woods. What do you guys think? Tell us in the comments section. Are you still rooting for Ellen? We'd like to know it all. And before you end the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video.